Hi, this is Hillbilly Tanya again, and I have had lots of requests for how I do my fussy cutting on English paper piecing. So today I'm going to teach you how I fussy glue. I don't actually fussy cut, but I fussy glue. First of all, let's look at supplies. I wash and starch all of my fabric. I starch my fabric twice, in fact, because I like it to be very stiff. Then I need my glue pen. I love the Soline glue pen. I need glue refills. You can use a regular school glue stick. It doesn't wash out as easily, it doesn't pop apart as easily, but it'll work if you don't have a glue pen. These are also very narrow tipped, so they're perfect for English paper piecing. For you, you might want a few friction pins on hand. I don't use them, but I will show you how you can use them if you desire. And of course, my super sharp scissors. I like my sharp detailed scissors for the paper piecing. Alright, when I'm looking at fabric, I want to get a fabric with a lot of repeat. I do not buy fat quarters for English paper piecing. I buy quarter yard or half yard cuts because I need the repeat to repeat at least 6 times, a lot of times 8 or 10 times for most English paper piecing designs. So we need that repeat, so it's better to buy a long strip than a square strip for the repeat. This particular fabric is called Deco by Jason Yinter, and it's wild and I love it and it's fun. And I have a couple of my own designs. This is called Stepping Stones. This is the pattern. This is what I made out of it. It's made out of Deco, just in blue. Very fun. This one's called Forgotten Triangles. And you can see this area of the deco. You see that area? That is the area here that I made that one out of. So that's a lot of fun. Of course, you don't always have to be completely wild. We can go with, here's my design called Starburst. I love any designs that have stars. Stars have a great repeat. They are mirrored image. Anything with a mirror what looks great for fussy cutting. And the fabric that I used for this particular, at least the center of the design, is this fabric right here. Can you see the center of the design? It's actually right here is where I got the center of that star. It's from that area. See, when you look at a piece of fabric, you never know what you might come up with. Like I said, I don't always go wild. Here's some more, a little bit more conservative fabric. Made a very fun center and just fun throughout. And so today we're going to just start with number 1 of my designs. All number 1, the pointing star. And the reason I like it is number 1, it has the star in the middle. So lots of mirror effect. Plus it's got a few other effects so we can show you how fun this is. I'm going to use 1 piece of fabric for the entire design today. Sometimes I use 2 or 3 pieces of fabric, but today we can do it all from this 1 piece of fabric. This is of course a Jason Yinter fabric. This is Atlantis. It's somewhat new. It's not his newest design, but it's still new out. I still have quite a bit available in my shop. Okay, so when I'm looking at that center star, the center star right here, remember I said it has a mirror effect. I want to have a lot of fun with that center. Often when I'm working on mine, on my Oz at home, my own English paper piecing, I look for the areas that are most mirrored first, and I do those areas first. With this particular design, that's the middle. It's not always the middle, but in this design, it's the middle. So we're going to do the middle star first. So I laid out my fabric, and I played around with it, and I found what maybe was my favorite thing. And I actually like these little seahorses right here. And I think they would be a fun middle. And I like how they come down into the red. That's important for what I want, the effect I want to show you guys today. So you actually need to turn your fabric over upside down, and remember it is already starched, washed, ironed, and starched a couple times so it's good and stiff. And I'm going to bring this seahorse around here. There he is. He's upside down, or I've got him on the back side of the fabric. You see how he goes down into the red. Alright, when I'm looking for where I want to glue, I actually look for areas in a pattern that have lines or points or little spots where I can line it up easily time after time. For instance, on this one, I might look on here and say, okay, well, his nose is right there, so let me see that. Well, that misses his tail. But it's easily see on this particular thing, there's this line going down the red, and there's a nice little V. That is a perfect lining up spot, is to just follow that line. But then when I do it, I'm missing part of his head. So I thought, okay, well, let me play around with that some more. And then I found out that if you look into the end of this one, you'll see a little indentation. So if we put that tip right there in the indentation of that, and the other tip right here at the tip of that, so we're looking at this tip right here and this tip right here, you'll see that those match the diamond points. So those are going to be the parts that I look at each time that I glue. It's my focal points. So I'm going to put that down into that tip, and I'm going to put it down into that tip right there. And there's my spot that I'm gluing on. Okay, so when I start on the next seahorse, find another one here. I'm going to use this one down here at the bottom. Just got to make sure I have 1/4 inch clearance on each side. I may not. We better move up to this one. Okay. I'm putting it down in the tip of the red, and I'm putting it in the tip of the green daddy seahorse there. Same spot as I did last time. Same exact spots. And I'm just a spot of glue to hold it down. And you repeat that 6 times. Then when I'm cutting them out, I actually go into the design, snip a little spot, and cut them out that way. I don't get the cuts perfect. If I wasn't filming, I might take the time to trim them up a little bit, like this, so that they're 1/4 inch all the way around. I'm not going to take the time to do that while we're filming today. Just going to cut around them. Now, if you are the type of person that is a perfectionist, or you don't like to wait to see how things look, you might stop right here, fold these around. You just go all the way around. Just go in a circle all the way around. You might fold them around and compare them around the diamond, just all the way around. But I like the element of surprise. I do not want to see what these look like until I'm done. I do that with all my Oz, all my paper piecing. I like to cut them all out and then see how they progress as I'm sewing. That's just how I like to do it. Oh, and these taggies, I'm folding these down in, gluing these in today just for the movie purposes. I don't actually recommend that because it can mess up your point of your diamonds. But for the video, you'll see why I'm folding those down. Okay, so there is our little seahorse. Cute little guy. Have a couple of them done, and they match. Oh, you can kind of see what I've got going there. But let's stop there and move on. Okay, for the next piece of our design, we need the little hexagon that goes after the star. We've got the star, and then we have the hexagons. Okay, so I was looking at my fabric again, and I was thinking what might be cool going in each of those hexagons, and I thought, well, maybe, I could do a circle, one of these things in the circle. Maybe that fish. But then I got to looking, and I decided I really, really like this green, how it goes into the blue. It's actually right above. I was looking at maybe putting the larger seahorse into the pattern somewhat, and the more I got to looking at it, the more I decided I really like that green scallop going into the blue. You'll see why when we're done. So that's what we're going to do next. Get my fabric around here. And I'm going to once again decide an area that I can easily find a repeat. For me, it is, I was looking at the tip of the seahorse's nose, and it's kind of funny because the tip of his nose follows this blue line. So when I do that, I can take it right down here and line it right up to the tip, the point of one of those. So following that point, I should do the point that follows the green seahorse and the blue line. And once I've done that, I can glue it down. You can laugh at me, I have a little nose itch right now. We've got it's like 80 degrees here right now, and we closed the window because it was making a lot of noise, and now it's getting hot in here. Okay. Same thing, I'm going to look at where I lined it up, followed his little nose, follow those little lines. Followed along that line, and there we go. You just have to look for places that you can line up each and every time. It's really easy if you look for the same places to line them up. On the last one, I will show you how you can do it if you're a little unsure of yourself on lining them up. Just cut those out, glue them up on the hexagon shape. You do just like the triangle shape or the diamond shape. You just go all the way around. Just a quick swipe of glue. Look how bad that one's cut out. All the way around. All the way around. Tickly nose, it's hot. All the way around, all the way around. All the way around. And there's our neat little shape. I don't want to show you what that's going to look like till we get done. Let's look at our last little shape. It is a triangle going in the top, and for that I was liking this little fish right here. I just thought he would fit perfectly, so we're going to do the fish. And when you look at the design, sometimes you need to be really careful when you're fussy gluing, because the point of this goes down, so you need to make sure that the point going down is always the same each time. For me, I wanted his little tail to be the point that was going down. So if I was trying to line it up, I noticed that if I stuck that right in between his tail, it lines up perfectly into a little V there, and it lines up right there on that V. So that gives me a couple focal points to line up. So there's one focal point there, and another focal point there. Easily repeated next time around. So there's that one. Let's find another little fishy. There's one. Where's my diamond, my triangle? Okay. Wanting to do the exact same thing, I want the point going down by his tail. Focal point by his tail, and right there. Same focal point each time. I'm going to cut them out. Oh, I forgot I was going to show you what you could do if you were unsure of yourself. grab you some friction pins, highlighter, something. The highlighter's right on dark fabric, and draw it out before you glue it down. And see if you have it the exact same way each time. See, I've got the point here, and if I were to draw them out, you could always make sure you had the exact same one with it all drawn out. I spent about 20 years being a hand engraver before they had these fancy laser machines, so I'm pretty good at lining things up with my eyes. I can just use the glue, line it up, and there we go. That poor piece of diamond triangle there has been glued 3 or 4 times. It's starting to look pretty bad. That one, and that one. Cut that one a little close, just trying to hurry. Okay. Alright, let's glue these down and let's see what we came up with. Swipe, swipe, swipe. If I wasn't videotaping, I would not glue these little taggies down, but I'm going to do it for video purposes so you can see better what the finished all looks like, the finished pattern. Now, let's see if I picked out a good design. Like I said, I like the element of surprise. I never pre-test. I just like to have fun with it. I have a couple that I've tossed away. They just did not work. I took elements out and changed them. Let's see how these work. Let's start with our middle star. That was our seahorses. Remember I told you I liked how that red came together in the middle? There's a reason for that. I've done enough of these now to know for certain elements I like to look for my type of designs. Look at that. Look how that red comes together. Remember that because that's what made me choose the fish for the outside, because they're red. Okay, there's the center. Now, you remember for the next one, I wanted those scallops. I like the green and I like the scallop design. Look, now you'll see why. Look at that. Of course, they look better when they're sewn together, but you get the idea. And then finally, we have our little fish. And for the fish, I wanted to bring the red back out to kind of finish it off. And I made his little tail be at the point. So I have these little dancing fish that are flying off the design here, going all the way around. As you can see. And that kind of brings our red all together there too. And there you have it. The pointing star, all fussy cut, all glued, all fussy glued. I didn't fussy cut it out. I just took a glue stick and I just glued it together. If you have any questions, you can email me at hillbillyhandiworks@gmail.com. You can find out more on my blog, hillbillyhandiworks.com, and my designs are available at hillbillyquiltshop.com. Thanks.